has finally announced their release schedule for 2026. So we'll break down the big projects heading our way, and the shocking absence of some huge fan favorites.
Well, I don't every time get what I want.
Before we break down what did and did not make the cut for D&D 2026, why not hit those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep these videos coming? It's fast, it's free, and we really do appreciate it. And then let's talk D&D's 2026 roadmap. 3 months into 2026 and D&D has finally revealed their releases for the year, although the first of their in-house releases doesn't drop until June. But while some big projects made the list, there are some shocking omissions as well. But before we dive into what's missing, let's go over what is actually heading our way. The main D&D releases for 2026 are broken into 3 seasons, which will also become the organized play format for D&D once again, with the season of horror in the summer featuring the return of Ravenloft with a new book, Ravenloft: The Horrors Within, just in time for the 10th anniversary of the classic Curse of Strahd adventure. And then that is followed by the season of Magic in the fall, which will of course feature a new Magic sourcebook and a new Magic-based adventure to go along with it, called Arcana Unleashed and Arcana Unleashed Deadfall respectively. The final season, the Season of Champions, remains to be announced. But if you are counting, that is 3 D&D releases in all of 2026, or 2 if you consider the paired Arcana Unleashed books to be one big drop, but either way it's once again surprisingly slim pickings. That said, Ravenloft has remained a fan favorite, although you could argue mainly that's just the Curse of Strahd adventure, and surprisingly the new Ravenloft book is not a revamp or continuation of that adventure at all, despite the 10th anniversary coming up. Just a source book with some new subclasses and NPCs, and sounds more like the next iteration of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, which was a very fun read but didn't bring a ton of variety to the D&D table. The 2 Arcana Unleashed books, a source book featuring new high magic spells and magic items and one would assume a few new magic subclasses, and the Arcana Unleashed Deadfall Adventure, which is a magic-based narrative focused around the Red Wizards of Thay, last seen making trouble in the D&D movie. A Ravenloft supplement and a magic supplement don't exactly sound like they'll silence the fan outcry for more content for the latest rule system. People seem to love Strahd more than they love Ravenloft itself, especially with this newer version of the Domains of Dread, and the Magic Supplement book inherently leaves out the martial D&D classes. But they are at least new content in the pipeline. There's also one final unnamed winter book coming out for the Season of Champions, but based on that name we can assume maybe that will be the martial version of Arcana Unleashed, which would end the year with some nice balance, so fingers crossed for that. Now that said, what is missing from the 2026 roadmap is kind of shocking, and that is fan favorites like Dragonlance, and even more bizarrely, given all the hints dropped by D&D in the last year or so, is the lack of the long-rumored 2026 Dark Sun book. Several news sites had already basically penciled it in as the summer release for D&D before this announcement, but it's nowhere to be seen on the roadmap. And the Season of Champions branding does not match the brutal psionics-fueled world of Dark Sun at all, so we'd be shocked if it took that winter slot. Likewise, when D&D released images of the Dragonlance creators and Joe Manganiello at their HQ last year, fans began hoping that maybe Dragonlance would get an actual real campaign setting in 2026, and not a half-adventure, half-unwanted board game combo that we got several years back. But those are both totally absent from D&D's release schedule, along with anything related to Greyhawk, which was also supposedly a big part of the D&D 2024 plan at launch but has seemingly vanished into the void at Wizards HQ. So if you were hoping for the return of any fan favorite settings outside of Ravenloft to give D&D 2024 a boost in 2026, and that sentence right there should tell you why we should just call everything D&D 5.5, we are afraid you're totally out of luck and stuck waiting on 2027 for your next chances at Dark Sun, Dragonlance, Greyhawk, or any of the other classic D&D settings. So what do you think? Are you happy to return to Ravenloft, or annoyed that you were denied Dark Sun and Dragonlance? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.